So yeah, beautiful people, it's your mentor Tumelo JP here. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, where we are going to be addressing the art of types of breakout structures, right? So this is one of the most underrated actually concept or chapter within the trading industry that most people don't focus on, right? So on today's video, we are going to be focusing on addressing each and every single types of structures that the market gives us, and then why is it really important for us to understand the types of market structure. Okay, so let's basically start by answering this question here. Why is it important? So I'm sure that most of you guys have encountered a phase in your trading life where you've identified a specific let's say structure within the markets, and then you tend to make a loss, yet you believe that everything was accurate, right? So I've realized that one of the most impactful thing that you can encounter within the markets is failing to understand the type of break that the market has awarded you with, right? I mean, truth be told, most of the most famous break-off structures, it's your false break-off structure and the normal break-off structure, right? But then most of you guys are not exposed to the one that we call breaker block, right? So it's very important for you guys to know what type of break the market awarded you with, and then the type of entry point you can use within the markets, right? Because the break goes hand in hand with what the entry. So which means if the break is wrong, the entry is also wrong. So yeah, let's get started with it. So we will firstly start with what you call a normal break-off structure, right? A normal break-off structure occurs when price takes a high on an uptrend or a low on a downtrend with a full candlestick breaking and closing above it, right? So normally what do we normally want to see within the market? We normally want to see price taking a high or a low on an uptrend, a high on an uptrend, and then a low on a downtrend with what? With a candlestick close, right? That's something that you guys should be able to understand by now, right? So now, in terms of entry point with a normal break-off structure, we normally want to see ourselves entering within the market using what? Our golden zone, our order block, right? So those are the two main entry points that we want to do it. We want to get ourselves exposed to. And then in terms of a false break-off structure, it's similar with this one, but it's a bit different, right? But here, price takes a high, yes, and it takes a low on a downtrend. But the only thing about it is that price fails to do what? Price fails to break and close above, right? So it fails to do what? To break and close above. And then here, my advice to you guys is that do not take any entry point within the markets, right? So even if you get a beautiful order block or anything, do not go for those types of entry points, right? Because of what? Price failed to confirm to us that yes, I'm gonna continue pushing on the bullish structure by breaking and closing above, right? So why are you supposed to be taking what do you call this thing? An entry point while price failed to take that high or that low and close above it, right? So the last one, the less famous one actually, which is what you refer to as a breaker block, right? So a breaker block, it's not really complicated. It's just straightforward. Here what happens is that price tends to do what? Price tends to take a high or our low within the markets, right? It takes our high and our low with no reaction, right? Here there is a reaction here. So there is what you call price reaction. So price reaction definitely means that it's two or more candlestick breaking that zone, right? But here we normally face what? One candlestick. So I'm sure most of you guys have seen fundamentals where you have that one long candlestick shooting to the downside, taking a low out. So that zone here, we normally consider it as a breaker block, right? I'll show you guys a bit of example so that you guys can be able to understand what I am exactly saying to you guys, right? So we take our low or our high with no reaction, and then our entry points, right, on an uptrend. What we normally want to see from the market is that we want to see price retesting back to what? Retesting back to our high that was taken out with no reaction, which means on a downtrend, the lower low that was taken out with no reaction, right? So we do not here take any entry points that are related to golden zone or order block, right? We don't take any of these entry points. Okay. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Hope you guys wrote them down. Now, let me just give you guys a bit of example of what I'm saying. So let's take, for example, that we are on a bullish structure, right? We are on a bullish structure, right? And then price does what? It takes this high out, right? And then we're gonna have something like like this, right? So let me just bring him here in the middle. Let me just bring this guy here. Okay. Take him out and then use this guy here. So let's say that, okay, price does what? Price took this high out here, and then you have that push your downside parallel zone. You have that rally up, right? So let's take, for example, that, okay, this is our uptrend. How do we see that, okay, it's an uptrend? Price created a series of what? It created a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? A series of what? Higher highs and what? And higher lows. So now, what do we know about an uptrend? On an uptrend, price has to do what? Price has to take highs out and not lows, right? Price has to take highs out and not our lows, right? So as you guys can see that, okay, price took this high out here, giving us a break. And then now this means that, okay, that's the high that we normally want to see price do what? This is the high that you want to see price taking out, right? That's the high that we normally want to see price taking out. Like, let's say price is currently 10. So what exactly do we see here? So this is what we call a normal break-off structure. So a normal break-off structure normally occurs like this, right? When price takes this high out with two or more candlesticks, right? Can you guys see here that, okay, when price took this zone, there was this one, and this one here, pushing to the upside to take that high out, right? So here we have what we call a reaction, right? There is a reaction. It's two or more candlesticks. See, when we refer to something as a reaction, see what price did? Tapped at that zone, tapped, right? Before it took that zone out. So this is what you call a reaction. So even if it breaks with two candlesticks, right? Even if we have something like this breaking the side, and then the next one is something like this, right? There is a reaction within this level here, because when this candlestick, this one dropped a little bit, and then we have that impulsive momentum to the upside. And you know that, okay, with a normal break-off structure, what do we normally use as a form of entry point? Our golden zone and our order block, right? And our order block. You understand? So what do we want? We want to see price taking out that high out. Once you take that high out, you know that, okay, what do we have? We have a break on a high, right? We have a break on a high, which means that now, since we have that break on a high, this low here becomes a strong low, and then that high there that is going to be created becomes what? It becomes a weak high, right? So this is a bit of example of what we refer to as what? As a normal break-off structure, right? What do we look for? We look for order block and golden zone entry points, and then what happens is that, okay, we also look at what the type of break that price gave us. If it broke and closed above, as you guys can see, okay, if you extend this line, it broke and closed above that zone, continue pushing to the upside. And then a false break-off structure, right? Let's talk about a false break-off structure. Let me use the same thing, right? So I just wanted to give you guys an example of what we refer to as a false break-off structure. So if price, okay, if price is to take this high out, right? If price is to take that high out, let me just bring him back a little bit. Yeah, if price is to take this high out, right? If price is to take this high out, and then we have price doing what? And then we have price shooting to the downside like this, and then you find yourself with this type of zone like this, right? Guys, please don't make this mistake. Most of you guys are gonna come and probably identify your order block somewhere within this range here, or your golden zone, or whatsoever, right? Let's say that, okay, this is our golden zone. Let's say that, okay, this is our golden zone. Like I said, this type of break-off structure is not good, right? This type of break-off structure is not good. Why? Because the price broke this high, yes, but did it close above at the end, right? So if you find yourself within the equilibrium phase of the market, anything above 5 going down, probably have your golden zone and probably have your order block somewhere within this range here. These entry points here, they are likely not to be respected. Why? Because of what? Price didn't take this high and close above it, right? We look at the type of break, right? On a normal, yes, we want to take our entry point on our order block and probably our golden zone. But on this one, I wouldn't advise you guys to take any form of entry point within the markets, right? So that's the main difference between what do you call this thing? A normal break and a false break. And then the last one that I want us to deal with is what you call a breaker block. Breaker block is a bit special and a bit different. So let's say that okay, price is impulsing beautifully so to the upside. Okay, let me use the same thing that I was using actually. Let me just give you guys an example. Price does something like this, comes to our order block, and then when it takes this one out, right? When it takes this one out, you have that one long bullish candle to the upside, right? Bullish, it's green. So you have that one long bullish candlestick to the upside. Let me just bring him back a little bit. Okay, let me explain here. So the rule states that okay, what do we want? We don't want to take our lows out, right? Our lows should always be protected, right? Let me just bring this guy here. Our lows should always be protected, and then our highs are the ones that are weak, right? Our highs are the ones that are weak. Our lows are strong, right? Our lows are. So let's bring it back a little bit. Our lows are the ones that are strong. So what can you see within the markets? You can see that okay, price took this high out here, giving us a break, and then this low here is a strong low, right? This low here is a strong low, and then this one also here it's a strong low. What else do we have? We have a break, right? The first break, what type of break was it? It was a normal break, and then probably we took our entry point. Let's say we're using an order block, right? Let's say we took our first entry point using an order block. An order block, and then price did what? Respected our order block and it pushed up. But when price was pushing up, what did it do? It took this high out here with no reaction, right? So you have that one long candlestick that took this high out with zero reaction. So we look at the zone here. Was there any reaction? No. So the reaction is the one that makes a normal break and a breakup block to be different. On a normal break, there is a reaction, right? But on this one, there's no reaction, which means price just took the zone here with one long candlestick. So what did I say about it? On an uptrend, what happens within the market is that, okay, see the higher high that was taken out with no reaction. Price must come and test it, right? Price must come and do what? And test this level. So this means that, okay, now what price will do is that, okay, within this level here, you look for the last bullish candlestick, right? The last bullish candlestick price created, which was what? Which was this one here. You look for the last bullish candlestick, and then this will be your breaker block, right? This will be your breaker block. And then what price will do is that, okay, price will push to the downside, come tap you in, and then give you that bullish movement to the upside. What did I say? I informed you guys that, okay, with this one, you don't do what? You do not look for your entry points where? You do not look for your entry points at your order block, no, your golden zone. You take your trade at the zone, and then price will push to the upside. The same thing with a downtrend on your lower low, to highlight the last bearish candlestick, price will come test that level. So now, what I want us to do now is that, okay, I want us to go test this theory out. Let's go check KJPY. Go to our 4-hour time frame. Let's remove every drawing, and then let's go test it out. Right? Let's go do it. Let's go test our theory out. Okay. So I want us to start from this level here. Right? I want us to start from this level here. Right? I want us to start from this level here. So what exactly can you see within the markets? What we can see from the market is that, okay, we are on a bearish structure. How do we see that you're on a bearish structure? A series of lows and highs are created within the markets, right? A series of lows and highs are created within the market. So what do we have here? We have a break on a low, right? We have a break. What type of break on top of that? It's a normal break, right? It's a what? It's a normal break, because price took this low out with two candlesticks, right? This one and this one. It's not long and it's not anything. And price broke and closed below that level. And then this high here becomes what? A strong high. Yes. See why I told you guys this. If price took this high out here, right? Can you guys see? It took this high out, but did it close above? No, which means this high here remains to be what? Remains to be a correct high. It's still strong, right? And then now, price retraced. Not this one. Sorry about that. Yeah, this one. Price came and respected what? Price came and respected our order block, right? Price came and respected our order block, right? Let's just put it in the middle. Price came and respected our order block, and then this becomes a strong high. The low was taken out, right? The low was taken out. So this is a false break, right? When you have this type of break, you cannot enter within any of these levels here, right? So we wait for price now. This is not an FB, false break, right? So which means you cannot take any form of entry point within your order block or anything. You have to wait for price to take the low out. See what price does? Price takes this low out here. So as it takes this low out, what type of break is this? Right? What type of break is this? It's a false break. It's a breaker block. Why? Because of price took this low out with no reaction. The break was long and had zero reaction. What did I say? You look for the last selling candlestick. So let's use this one here as our last selling candlestick on a low, right? Last selling candlestick, and then you're going to call him what? Your breaker block, right? This is going to be your breaker block. Mind you, we still have what? We still have an order block above the zone here, right? We still have an order block above the zone, but what did I inform you guys about? Do not use any order block because of what? How price took the zone out. So now we wait for price, right? Price has to do what? Price creates our low, right? So this is price creating our low, which means this will be our target. Why? Because we are on a bearish structure. Why are we taking that zone? Because of our lows are weak and our highs are strong. So which means we should look for selling opportunities within the market at this level, and then rally down with price to the zone here, right? Price plays around, and then price taps us in. So we have that tap within that level, and then what happens afterwards? Price pushes beautifully so to the downside, and what does it do? It takes our low out, right? The next question you want to ask yourself is, okay, price took this low out. What type of break was it? It was a normal break. How? Price took the zone with one candlestick, a normal candlestick, right? It's not as long as this one. So which means now this high here becomes what? Becomes our strong high, right? It becomes our strong high. So which means we are trending in between this high and this low here. So this means that, okay, if you are to look for any form of entry points within the markets, what are you going to do? Gonna come here and identify this guy here as your order block, right? He's going to be refined as what? As our order block. So which means our entry point within the market should be around this level here, right? See how I go about telling you guys about the types of breaks and everything, so that you guys can be able to be aware of what happens within the market. Our target is where? Our target is at that low. Price does what? Passes, taps us in, and then what happens afterwards? We have that push to the downside, right? We have what? We have that push to the downside. So I like how price is moving actually. It's creating a strong bearish order flow, which means price keeps on respecting the rules and the properties of what? Of this downtrend. So that's what we refer to as what? As order flow, right? That's what we refer to as what? As order flow. Okay, let's continue. And then price takes this low out. What type of break was this? It was a normal break, right? We have a break with this low, and then this high here, like I said, it becomes this one here. It becomes a strong high, becomes our strong high, and then which means that, okay, this low here becomes what? It becomes a weak low. It becomes a weak low. So which means we should target that level here when we take our opportunities. And then if you're looking for entry points, okay, let's go for, which one should we go for? Hidden zone, high and low, FB, Fibonacci. We're gonna go for what? For probably our golden zone. Right, we're gonna go for our golden zone. Right, we're gonna go for our golden zone. And then that's what you're gonna have within the market. So are you targeting? What are you targeting? You're targeting probably that zone there. You're targeting that zone there. Right, and then price does what? Is around. It gives us that tap within our zone, and then gives us that tap within the zone here, and then we have that what? That push to the downside, right? We have that push to the downside. So this is our what? This is our GZ entry point, form of entry point. This is our what? This is our golden zone form of entry point. So what do we have now? We have a break on the low. So which means that now within this level here, this high here becomes what? This high here becomes a strong high, and then this low here, right? this low here becomes what? Becomes a weak low. Right. So which means now we should take our selling opportunities within that range and then push with price to the downside, right? So yeah, guys, this is what I had to show you guys for today. That okay, break a block, quarter block, and fourth break, right? That's how you go about anticipating the market. This will help you to understand and approach price differently. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit that like button, comment section, and keep subscribing to my YouTube content. And yeah, check also on the description section for my free Telegram group where I drop VIP free signals. And yeah, thank you guys.